Oh, it is that time of year again. And no, I don't mean Black Friday or American Thanksgiving, because A, you Americans have Thanksgiving way too late. Like, seriously, Thanksgiving was October 11th. Y'all must have missed the memo when making the calendar this year. And B, who really cares about Black Friday? I don't. Maybe I would if our sales were better, but up here, Black Friday is like 3% off on maple syrup and igloo heaters. In fact, most stores don't even have sales. Black Friday is literally just a day for us Canadians to flick on the TV and watch you guys host the crappy Hunger Games over a microwave or an Xbox controller. No, the time I am referring to is Christmas. It's nearly December, which trips me the frick up, because I swear Halloween hasn't even happened yet, but lo and behold, everyone's releasing Christmas music, suddenly there's snow on my car, Christmas lights are now visible practically all day because the days are so freaking short, but the big giveaway that Christmas is fast approaching is my work. In case you didn't know, I work at a retail store, which means not only have we been playing Christmas music since August, but we wear Santa hats now, and Mariah Carey is on repeat, only interrupted for a pre-recorded social distancing announcement or something. But I'm rambling, none of you care about that. What you came for is country Christmas music. It's a hoot of a time, but there's a lot of it, and especially with how many artists have put out Christmas music lately, I figured what better time to make a beginner's guide to country Christmas music. Essentially, this video is just going to be an overload of Christmas music you should check out so you're fully prepared for any musical need you have through this holiday season. I also asked on my Instagram, which is to follow at over.shore, what your guys' favorite country Christmas music was, so we'll go over those in the end to tie it all together. Lastly, before we jump in, my voice is fricked. I know, I have a cold. It's not ideal, but you gotta deal with it. So anyways, assuming you're subscribed and you've liked the video, let's jump right in, beginning with these certified hood classics. What is the definition of a certified hood classic? Well, according to Urban Dictionary, it is the highest honor that can be bestowed. There's also another funny answer, but I can't read it here. Point being, these are just the Christmas projects I hold as a step above from the others, beginning with the father of country music, George Strait, and his 1986 album, Merry Christmas, Straight to You. George Strait is such a cheat code. His voice is so warm and soothing, unlike mine at the moment, and his sound is so approachable and colorful. He just has an advantage when it comes to holiday music, and he shows off said advantage on this record. George takes certified hood classics and reclassics them in a country way. White Christmas, Winter Wonderland, Away in a Manger, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. But the runaway standout on this record for me is his original track, When It's Christmas Time in Texas. A funny tune about how Christmas looks different down in Texas, but that's alright. And if you end up liking this album, you're in luck because George has several holiday projects, and he just put out 2 Christmas EPs this year. Unfortunately though, we've got to move on. It's the one downside to these beginner's guide style videos. If I don't keep the train moving quickly, we're gonna be here for hours. So next up we have Alan Jackson's 2002 album, Let It Be Christmas.
Let it be Christmas everywhere.
This album is similar to the George Strait record in the sense that this Alan Jackson album is locked and loaded with your favorite Christmas songs like Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Jingle Bells, Silver Bells, which, quick side note, Silver Bells is a goated Christmas song. If I were to ever make a tier list of the most famous Christmas songs, Silver Bells is taking a first-class flight to S tier. But again, similar to the George Strait one, the standout for me is the original track, which I think is what really separates the decent Christmas projects from the great ones. Can you make a new song that feels timeless? Because really all of our Christmas music is rooted in the same few artists and songs that made Christmas music mainstream back in the 40s and 50s, which was rooted in a lot of jazz and blues. It's why songs using modern structures or theoretical techniques will never scratch that itch, because it's the jazz and blues that we have subconsciously accepted as feeling like Christmas. Vox did an awesome video on this whole idea about how different chords evoke the feeling of Christmas while others can't. I'd really encourage you to check it out, especially if you know a thing or two about theory. It's just an entertaining watch. But back to Alan Jackson, that was an incredibly long road to get there, but what I was saying is the standout from this record for me is the title track, Let It Be Christmas. It's one of my favorite Christmas songs, period. There's such an overwhelming sense of unity and acceptance. Rather than being overly peppy and happy, Alan's just saying, let it be Christmas. Don't try too hard to force the emotions or lose focus of the season. Just let it happen. It's backed with a goosebump-worthy string section, and Alan's voice, similar to George Strait, just has this authoritative strength that feels so comforting when used softly like it is here. Next up is none other than Rhett Eldredge with effectively any holiday music he puts out, but specifically here we are focusing on his 2016 album, Glow.
All the weather outside is frightful, but the fire...
Rhett has always been someone who has incorporated a lot of jazz and blues into his music, a great example being his 2020 album Sunday Drive, which remains my favorite album of that year. So it's no surprise Rhett has released lots of holiday-themed music in the past, but it should also be no surprise that it is phenomenal. I know I said George Strait and Alan Jackson's voices were warm, but Brett's is like a coffee crisp flavored hot chocolate with marshmallows. It's so cozy, so buttery smooth, but he's got this snarl he can throw on the back end of cadences that just adds such a snap to his delivery, and it all works so well when being backed by the dramatic horns and brass sections as well. I'm justifying it using super technical big words and stuff, but the moral of the story is his Christmas music is incredible and he was born to make holiday music. Just like how Michael Bublé was destined for Christmas music, so was Rhett Eldredge. And hey, if you like what you hear, which I know you will, you're once again in luck because Rhett also just put out another Christmas album, Mr. Christmas, which I've just listened to earlier today. It freaking slaps. The title track, again, is awesome. I already know it's going to be on my heavy rotation this holiday season, and it should be on yours too. So, those are my certified hood classics. Now we're just going to speed through some of my other favorite Christmas projects, as well as talk about all the new Christmas music that has been coming out, because as I said, everyone and their cousin's mother is putting out a holiday record this year. Beginning with the current buzz of country music coming off of his incredible album, Human, it's Cody Johnson with the Cody Johnson Christmas.
Thinking maybe that if I had a hat made of mistletoe.
Overall, I was super surprised at how much I loved this album. It's so colorful, the instrumentation is so lush, and Cody's voice just lays over top of everything like caramel. I think the cool thing about this album is just how country it is, while still feeling Christmas. This record truly is what the title says, a Cody Johnson Christmas. You get all the Texas influence from the fiddle and the steel mixed with loads of different pieces of southern imagery, and Cody's twang is ever present as well, but it still feels super Christmas. So if you're someone who's not big on all the tambourines, wind chimes, and strings of traditional R&B, blues, jazz Christmas stuff, give this record a try. It's dominated by fiddle and electric guitars in the best of ways, and Hat Made of Mistletoe is the obvious banger from this record. Carrie Underwood put out My Gift earlier this year. It's definitely solid, but if I had one criticism, I think it goes for the larger-than-life moments too often on this album. Everything is so big. Her vocal performances are just off the charts, backed by these string sections stronger than an Olympic deadlifter. Which, don't get me wrong, the payoff on some of these tracks is incredible. But as a listen all the way through, I think it can become a bit overwhelming or repetitive. However, if you've got a Christmas playlist, I'd highly encourage you to add a couple of these songs because, like I said, it's a stunning listen. I just think it dulls out when you have to hear it 14 times. But to have one of these come on every half hour, chef's kiss. Josh Turner put out another Christmas record this year called King Size Manger. Josh Turner's voice is just a showstopper, and I think the word I would use to describe this album is classy. The instrumentals are timeless and elegant. Josh's voice will never let you down. It's just so refreshing to hear. Similar to the Carrie Underwood album, this one is more gospel-oriented holiday music. You're gonna get more stuff like Angels We've Heard on High and Go Tellin' on the Mountain, as opposed to like Jingle Bells or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. For me, the standouts are actually the two I just mentioned, but if I had to choose one, it's the undeniable blanket of joy that Go Tell It on the Mountain just emits. The choir, rockin' pianos, it's got a fat groove, and it absolutely slaps. Moving on, my queen of 2021, Morgan Wade released two Christmas tracks, I'll Be Home for Christmas and Santa Claus Is Back in Town.
I'll be home for Christmas.
Both are very different yet alike. Palette-wise, they both carry this alt-rock sound we got to know on her stellar debut album Reckless, but where Santa Claus Is Back in Town lies more on the head-bobbing rock, I'll Be Home for Christmas pulls the sentimental card, and for me it's the winner. Morgan's voice has this laid-back, almost whiny tone that just works so well. She's just got this bluesy way of blurring her lines together, just sort of sliding from one to the other, and it has such a live feeling to it. It feels so genuine and close to home. Yeah, they're both awesome, but I'll Be Home for Christmas takes the win here today. This one isn't new by any means, but Alabama's 1985 album, simply titled Christmas, will forever rule.
By now in New York City.
Defined by crisp pianos and loads of harmonies, it gives us such a sense of home and unity that helps bring the mood wherever you are, the obvious standout being the closer Christmas in Dixie. Brad Paisley has an iconic album you've got to become familiar with, his 2006 Brad Paisley Christmas. This album definitely brings more of the fun side of the holiday emotions as you'd expect from someone like Brad. It's infested with contagious guitar solos and licks, driving beats, and Brad's comedic delivery is just a ribbon to tie it all together, especially on tracks like the fan favorite Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy.
Well, Santa looked a lot like Daddy.
Casey Musgraves also has a gorgeous Christmas record from 2016, A Very Casey Christmas.
Everyone's dancing merrily in the new
From front to back, this thing is very sparkly. It's shimmering country pop with lots of jazz influence. It's like the sugar cookies that are going to start magically appearing everywhere soon. Casey's voice is so glossy and airy that it just adds a very youthful, happy touch on top. But I think the standout on this record isn't one I would normally cling to. When I go for Christmas music, I just want to be happy. I want to feel great. I want my worries to disappear for a while so I can just experience that holiday feeling because it's a real thing. There is no sense of magic like there is during the holiday season. So when I listen to Christmas music, I'm normally looking to evoke those emotions, yet across this record, the one that stands out to me the most is the 6th track, Christmas Makes Me Cry.
over Christmas. It always makes me cry.
Essentially saying how everything I just mentioned has the exact opposite effect on Casey. The happier everyone and everything around her appears, the sadder it makes her because she feels like she's missing something. What is she doing wrong that makes her feel this way while everyone's so happy? And it's such a unique but very real perspective that we rarely hear vocalized in mainstream holiday music, because when people turn on the radio, they want to feel good inside. But that's not to take away from how beautifully devastating that track is. Give it a listen. And lastly, for my picks, we're going back 2 years to 2019. I've got the man Thomas Rhett and his 2-song bundle, Christmas in the Country, and his cover of the Christmas song.
We got snowflakes falling on an old 2-lane.
Throughout this video, I've done my best at articulating what parts of this music makes it stand out to me, and I've done my best to explain so you, the viewer, can make your own decision if you're interested or not. But with Christmas music, it either has it or it doesn't, and these 2 tracks from Thomas have it. Specifically his original Christmas in the Country. It's got an undeniable twinkle and sparkle to it, and Thomas's voice just does it. This little double release is one of my favorite pieces of music to put on at Christmas because it just scratches that itch. I don't know what itches, but it scratches it. His bright, peppy energy keeps up with the instrumental, but also on the Christmas song, he's so undeniably smooth, and it's arguably my favorite version of that timeless classic. You can hate me for saying that, but it's just my truth. I cannot get enough of these 2 tracks from Mr. Rhett. Now, quickly, before we begin winding down, as I said, I asked you guys on my Instagram, what's your favorite country Christmas music? And here's either the most popular or unique responses. We got Gone for Christmas by Amanda Shires. Florida Georgia Line's Lit this year. That's always a song I just forget exists, but it definitely plays the humor card well and sounds great, so good choice. Home by Michael Bublé and Blake Shelton. Lots of Brett Eldredge. A lot of people put Brett Eldredge. Into the Silent Night by For King and Country. Man, when I first read that response, it rang a very dusty bell, but For King and Country are awesome. They're these 2 Australian brothers who make more contemporary Christian music, but their Christmas music is phenomenal. You watch the show these guys put on, like their rendition of The Little Drummer Boy, it's a watch well worth your time. Their holiday music in general is just badass. Also, second to last, I have a personal favorite submission of mine, Country Stuff the Album from Walker Hayes. Brilliant answer. Nothing overwhelms me with holiday cheer like You Girl.
Guys like me like girls that look like you. Girl, cherry bottom. Boom. Okay, cherry bottom is, what's this, Mom? Mom, help us. A roll. You do it. Cherry bottom. Boom.
And finally, because I was only able to scratch the surface of all the great country Christmas music that's out there, I'm going to throw a massive list on the screen right now. Feel free to pause and check out anything that interests you. Be sure to comment anything that wasn't featured in this video, comment your favorites, and yeah. That's all I've got for you guys today. As always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like. And if you haven't already, now is the time to subscribe to stay up to date with all the year-end content I'm going to be throwing at you guys. And why not? If you made it this far into the video, comment a cringy Christmas or holiday-themed joke and I'll pin the best one. Anyways, until next time, I hope y'all have a great day.